Hello, everyone. In our series of resident interviews, we have featured residents and chatted about their technology use. Not only is it fun, but it's pretty interesting to watch. This month, we're continuing with more of that content. The time I spent with all of those who volunteered to be on the show was fun, and I learned so much, and I hope you do too. Hello, we're here with CJ McLaughlin. She is a resident, and we're going to have a little chat about her technology use. So thank you for joining me today.
Pleasure.
Awesome. So what's your experience with technology?
Well, I've been in technology for quite a while, back when we had mainframes, in the 70s.
Okay.
So, and then laptops, desktops. So I've been around computers for a long time.
So was that in your work or
in
your
my
personal?
work? For a while, I worked for Wang Laboratories, and they're no longer around. And that was before IBM became the dominant desktop. So I used to teach Lotus, used to be Lotus and WordPerfect.
Oh yes, I remember them well.
Them?
I do.
So I've been around it for a long time, and I've used it in my own business, technology.
Oh, great, great. I know. When you were mentioning that, I was thinking about the DOS, the little 1, 2, 3 blinking on the black screen, right?
I used to teach DOS too.
Yeah, I think back about 1979 was about the first time I started working with any computer at all.
Right.
So,
and we used to remove the motherboards and put in memory and all of that. And that was like, how did we learn that?
Right.
Somebody showed you how to do it, and you just went and did it.
Or even, it's just, as you said it too, I was going back all the way now to high school. We made key punch cards.
Right.
And we had to do a math problem and make the computer to the cards. And you had your stack of cards this big. And
how fun.
Wow, things have come a long way since then.
Definitely.
Haven't they? So obviously you find it very comfortable. So one of the questions I've been asking everyone is, do you think it's made your life easier or more difficult, or both?
A lot easier, I think. I rely on it a lot. Everyone does. Fun things, like if I'm going to a restaurant, I automatically check the menu before I arrive because I want to see ahead of time. So I'm not just sitting there with the menu. And for fun things, finding a place to go for entertainment, or it just opens up a world, I think.
Right, and even if you think about even during the pandemic when the restaurants opened up, we didn't get the paper menus, and if you didn't know what a QR code was and how to use your phone to scan it, you were kind of out of luck.
That's right.
All right, that was, and I noticed still a lot of restaurants have that. So are there any specific tools that you use that you find fun to use? Do you use an iPad or mostly your phone?
I tend to use my phone a lot now, but not. Several years ago, it was a laptop I use for any larger project, spreadsheets or word processing or anything like that, or photo editing on my screen. But I do use a Kindle. I like to read ebooks.
Okay.
So I check out books from the library, which is I don't know if people know that they can check out ebooks.
Yes.
From the library and read them on their Kindle reader, or
do you have there actually is an app called Libby.
That's the one I use.
Yes, Libby. If you download Libby, now you do have to have a library card, and you attach your library card to Libby, and you can read, check out books, and if they're very popular books, sometimes you'll have to get on a waiting list, which I always find interesting since it's a digital book. Why do you have to wait for copies?
I know, but they have X number of copies that they can lend out, or whatever it is, copyrighted. Who knows how that works?
Right. So we talked about that. So do you feel that did you ever have to take any classes? I know you said you taught some things, but
Yes.
Did you have to take classes?
Yes, I've always been taking classes. In the old days, they would just send you a manual and you'd have to figure it out. But then there were online classes or classroom classes I've taken. I'm a participant in the PC lab.
Okay, good.
And the workshops. So I volunteer there as a greeter, and so I learn just by hearing what other people are doing and what their issues are. People will walk in with really interesting questions, and so I learned about that. And then I take the classes, and I help sign people in. So I like being around technology.
Well, that's good. And you know what? And thank you for helping the PC Club, because I know getting volunteers these days is very challenging. And I know if anyone's interested,
Yes.
they're always looking at
We're
the PC Club for greeters and supervisors, and you know, and also people don't realize that you don't have to have. As a greeter, you may not need the same level of tech skill.
No,
It's more
you
just
don't.
to kind of help people to get to the computer and log in and things. But I feel like the PC Club, you know, that was one of the things I've got involved with early on, was to try to help and do classes. My schedule doesn't allow me to do as much as I'd like to, but I definitely appreciate that everybody's doing that. So that's exactly what I really wanted to ask, was about learning, because I feel like a lot of what happens with technology, there's a fear, and you can eliminate the fear by going to classes and learning, and there's no fear in the class.
There isn't, and I'll give you an example of, I like wine, and so I like hanging around with people that know about wine, because I follow them around. Are you tasting that? What's good? They teach me.
Right.
And so even being around in the PC workshop or the camera club or any of these, I'm hanging around with people that know more than me. So I'm learning in an environment that's friendly, and I'm meeting people, and they're more than happy to tell me about this piece of equipment or that piece of equipment or software. That's an easy way to learn, is just hanging around. Taking classes is fun too, but
Right.
I find I learn by being there. That's how I got into my business. I just showed up at public meetings. I go, okay, what funding is there? Who has money for rideshare programs? You know, you just hang out and you
We
learn.
need you. We need you to volunteer for some of our committees right here. You know, we have our mobility committee, which would be great, and also our security and community access committee. So, but the mobility deals with our bus service.
Sure.
So, you know, we are always looking for resident advisors. You don't have to get on a board. You just have to go to the chair and seek it. But I really do appreciate you coming by today and just you know, having a brief chat with me.
Pleasure.
And I wanted to show our residents that you know, your next door neighbor might be able to help you.
Exactly.
You never know. And just down the hall, you can get all the help at either the PC workshop or the Mac Lab.
Exactly, and they are very, very helpful.
Very nice people always too. So thank you again for joining me.
It's good talking with you.
You too.
Do you want the government to take control of your assets and your legacy, or do you want to take control? L.S. Carlson Law is well positioned because we have a team of estate planning attorneys. You call us, we sit down with you, and we will define what is the customized estate plan that properly protects your legacy.
I'd like to personally thank L.S. Carlson Law for all my family's estate planning needs. I highly recommend them to everyone.
Hi, I'm Linda Honey. I'd be happy to help you and your family. Please call us today.
At Healing Hearts Emergency Animal Hospital, we are dedicated to emergency veterinary care through high-quality veterinary services and compassion. We offer state-of-the-art diagnostics at competitive pricing. Our doctors will see and care for dogs, cats, and most exotics. In case of emergency, rest assured Healing Hearts Emergency is here for you when your primary veterinarian is closed. Open nights, weekends, and all major holidays.
Well, I'm here with Fred Sherman, and he is a resident of our community, and I am so happy that you were able to join me today. We're going to just chit-chat just like we're sitting here having a friend-to-friend chat.
Okay, happy to be here
All
and
right.
happy to impart whatever knowledge and experience I have
Awesome.
to the audience.
Great. So what's your experience with technology?
Well, it started when, probably back in the 80s, I had a neighbor who had been given a computer from one of his customers. And he said he has a computer, he's never going to use it. So if I want to, you know, in other words, I said, well, can I borrow it and just learn? And I did. And at that time, when you got a computer, learning how to use a computer was learning how to program it. I went through that whole manual. and said to myself, if this is what it takes, I will probably never use a computer.
Right, right.
Well, fast forward perhaps 10 years, or maybe even a little less. My wife was working, she was a legal administrator, and she was using word processing.
Right.
And whenever I had a letter to write, I would write it in longhand. If it was something I wanted typed, I would write it in longhand, give it to her, she'd type it on the word processor, bring it back to proof, back to her to finish, back to me to sign, and back to her to mail.
Right.
And at the same time, I had a portable Smith Corona typewriter
Oh, yes.
that was very simple, easy to use, and if I had a letter that I really had to get out, I would type it on that.
Tap, tap, tap.
Anyway, this one time, my mother also had a Smith Corona typewriter, the same thing, and hers broke, and she used to type a lot. And hers broke, so I bought her a Brother, which was the simplest electric typewriter available at that time. And after a short time, she called, yeah, I can't use it, I can't get it to work, but apparently it had a little word processing in it.
Oh, yes, I do remember this progression you're discussing.
Yeah. So she said, could I please have yours and you take this one, which I did. Well, okay, fine. The next time I had a letter to type, I take it out, and I can't even get the carriage to work.
Oh, my goodness.
So my wife comes home, and I'm swearing at, tell me how to make this carriage work. And she says, no, and we had a computer downstairs, one of the old office computers that she had. Said, no, but I'm going to teach you how to do word processing.
Awesome.
That's how I got started in computers.
Wow, that's great. So do you feel fairly comfortable with it now?
I feel very comfortable. When I realized that, and I had even taken a course, the school that my son attended had like a computer course for parents, for adults, and it was basically the same thing. But when I realized finally that the secret to using a computer is use it just for what you need it.
That's a great way to say that.
Don't worry about all the other stuff, but use it. If I need it for word processing, accounting.
So do you feel like technology's made your life easier?
It's made it easier and fun.
Okay. And you mentioned to me before we went on air that you take a lot of online classes.
Yes, I do.
So I find that to be very interesting because just going back to what you said about using computers for what you need, obviously for an online class, you need the computer, and that opens up a whole world, right?
That's right. That's right.
Awesome.
The classes through Coursera are very good. Not worrying about credit, and it's another long story about credit, but I obviously don't need it at this point.
You just want to keep your
Yeah.
you want to learn new things and keep everything sharp.
I want to keep everything sharp. My feeling is that the aging process can be slowed down at the very least by constantly learning new things. And I'm 86 now.
Oh, wow.
And I love learning. Most of the classes I've taken have been through philosophy. I've taken several with regard to astronomy.
Oh, lovely.
And, yeah, I'm trying. My goal is to determine how the universe began, and
Well,
nothing too deep.
Nothing too deep, but I'll tell you, as I was flying over the Grand Canyon on Monday night, coming home from teaching, and it was a little bit hazy, but I've flown over the Grand Canyon before, but I'm amazed. How did that all happen?
Right.
How did that happen? So when you find out through your
I'll let you
courses,
know.
you let me
It's not
know,
only
okay?
how it all started. I think they've pretty much determined how some of it started, the Big Bang and
Right,
all that.
and the Ice Age
But
and-
where it's going.
Right. Where's it going? Yeah, that's a whole nother
Yeah.
show, right?
And I think that one of the things that makes it so difficult is that it's almost impossible to really understand time.
Yes.
Time And there are a whole lot of things that the concept of time could unlock or not. And one of them is our own existence. Because if time is infinite, then there didn't have to be a beginning.
Right, right. There was no beginning.
That's right.
Well, so are you using technology to communicate and connect? Like during the pandemic, did you use any of the Zooms or Facebook Lives or any of those?
Yes, I did. I've used Zoom, I've used FaceTime. I'm not crazy about either,
Okay,
but they were useful during the pandemic.
right.
One thing that I found that is extremely valuable in my own life is text messaging.
Yes.
And unfortunately, there are a lot of older people who just are so resistant to that. And
My own husband, he texts, but I'm trying to get him to understand if you press the microphone, you can speak and it will type for you.
That's right, that's right.
And he knows it. It's not that he doesn't lack the knowledge, it's just lack the desire.
Well, I think in general, men normally don't visit on the telephone as women do.
Yeah.
And I think that is an interesting thing because I've never been like a big phone converser, although now there are people with whom I visit on the phone, but that's a different thing. And I don't find that the Zoom or the FaceTime technology, I have to admit, normally when I'm on would be on a FaceTime call, when I'm on the phone, I'll be doing other things. I'll
Right.
be on the computer doing other stuff.
Right. Just because you're showing up on the screen doesn't mean you're watching it, right?
Well, I obviously don't do it when I'm FaceTiming,
Right,
and
right.
that's why I don't FaceTime that way.
Right. No, I know. I'm a notorious multitasker. I get that. I get that. So at home, you're using a laptop. Are you using a tablet?
I have an iPad and I
Okay.
have a desktop.
Okay.
I don't have a laptop. I had one,
Okay.
but I didn't, especially since retiring, I don't
You don't need
I
it.
don't really need it.
Yeah, and it's a little bit, I mean, desktops still are good. Usually your screen's a little bit bigger,
Right.
things
and
like
it's,
that.
You're in a situation where you're comfortable and you're getting information or whatever. And certainly I use my phone, you know.
Do you have any other things at home, like Alexa or Echo?
I have Alexa, yeah. And it's funny, the only thing that I really use Alexa for is I say good morning to Alexa in the morning and good night at night. that the music system, I could have it say, Alexa, play such and such, but I have a Sonos system at home
Okay.
that I control from my iPad or my computer, and I use that if I'm playing music at home.
You brought up a funny thing, and probably not everybody knows what Sonos is, but I just visited some friends over that have moved to Georgia, and I had to help them connect their iPad to their Sonos so they could run their music
Right,
because they were
right.
having a lot of problems. So there you go.
Yeah, and the other thing with technology, and this is something that, first of all, as I think I mentioned before, I think that the more you keep learning, the more your brain keeps functioning the way it should. And I think a lot of older people would benefit from just the learning, the challenge. The other thing is, with the computers and phones, it's really hard to screw things up badly. So, and again, I have fun playing with it. And if I have a problem, I will not call, technology, hey, help me. I will play with it.
Until
And
you
I would
figure
say
it out.
99% of the time I figure it out.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, the fear of I'm going to break something.
Yeah.
Chances are you're not going to break something.
Right.
And, I said in an earlier interview about clicking, I have no fear to click. But people have a fear. I'm going to click and all my stuff's going
away.
to cyberspace and I'm never seeing it again. And that's really unlikely. I'm not going to say never happens, but
it can happen.
But it's not going to usually be the very first thing. And to your point about the learning again, not just, if you have a technology fear of using like the actual computer, you can go to our PC club, you can go to the Mac club, you can go to a video club. Everybody has classes, hands-on classes They're very careful, methodical. I know when I taught at the PC Club, you know, we go slow. I was doing a Google, and I called it baby steps. Google. You know, so it's baby
That's
steps
good.
to Google,
That's
because
right.
you know, just take one thing at a time, or take something small that you want to use and try that, and not have to you don't have to conquer the whole world.
That was my point at the beginning.
Yes.
That you use it for what you need it, and then you learn new things as you go along.
Well, I'm so amazed about your Coursera stuff, so that's really good. But and if people don't know what Coursera is, they're online classes that you can take. I don't think they're free though.
They are.
Oh, they are free.
Most of them are free.
Okay.
They have courses you pay for, but there are so many. There's such a selection from universities around the world that are free.
Well, that's
and
wonderful.
I have never paid for a course that I've taken on Coursera.
Well, that's even better then. Free is good.
Yeah, it is.
Well, thank you, Fred, for joining me today. I've enjoyed our conversation so much, and I'm thrilled that you were able to make it today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Debbie.
All right.
Hi there, we're Orange County Labs. Please call us today for your VIP concierge phlebotomist in-home lab collection appointment. We simply come to you in the safety and convenience of your very own home for any lab test. As a covered benefit at no cost to you, we will draw your blood for your physician with results the very next day. One call to Orange County Labs does it all. We look forward to seeing you all soon.
Are you retired or almost retired, but worried? Worried about inflation, today's unstable markets, worried about your investments, wondering if you could count on them to provide the income you need as long as you need it? Well, stop worrying and rest easy, knowing there is a better, smarter way to invest once you're retired or getting close to it. A way strategically designed to protect your principal and generate lifelong income regardless of market conditions. Learn more today by calling Pacific Financial Planners, your source for a stress-free retirement.
Another quick topic I'd like to remind our residents about is using Easy Pay. Easy Pay is so easy. Did you know that you can have your monthly HOA payment directly deposited from your bank account? This is a great way not to worry about ever being late. It's as simple as filling out a form at Resident Services and providing a voided check. A picture of the form is up on the screen right now. The money is usually moved around the 6th of the month from your bank account to GRF, and you'll receive a notice from your bank when the money is paid. It's safe and secure. And this not only saves you time and money, no printed coupon book, no check to write, no stamp needed to mail, no need to drive to the community center and drop it off, and it also saves money in processing time by VMS. It's a win-win for everyone.
O'Connor Mortuary has been healing hearts, inspiring trust, and comforting souls since 1898. As one of the oldest family-owned and operated mortuaries in California, we are proud to be a long-standing pillar in the community. Our unwavering commitment to providing support in a time of need is what sets us apart and allows us to build strong bonds with each family we serve. Thank you for choosing us for 125 years.
Well, that does it for another episode. I enjoy doing this show so much and appreciate you taking the time to watch it. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at talktech949@gmail.com, and that's up on your screen. And as we close the show, remember, think before you click and be kind when posting online. Remember, there are numerous classes offered in the village for technology, so if you need help, visit the PC Club or the Mac Club. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next month.